Lowry for the championship. Ah, hit the side of the backboard. But it was tipped. Get out. It was tipped by Draymond Green because Lowry would have won it, right? Anyway, I am Kyle Scott, crossingbroad.com, here to talk about Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And what a series it has been. Ton of drama, ton of entertainment, everything from Drake to KD, ups and downs, juggernaut in the Warriors, upstart-ish team in the Raptors with Kawhi that was sentimental favorite, and now they're not because they cheered but really didn't, Durant's injury, whatever. By this point in any playoff series, it becomes really hard to bet on the spread, maybe get a little bit of value on the total. The line is hammered into place. We've seen looks, pretty much every look you're going to get from both teams, ups and downs, highs and lows. This thing is pretty hammered into place, but let's talk about it. Then we'll talk about some props for Game 6. So here we are heading into Game 6. The Warriors are -3 at home. That is actually significant. We'll talk about that in a second. Over-under is 211.5. Meanwhile, the money line, -148, +128, and for the series, +230, obviously, for the Warriors. -286 for the Raptors. By the way, not a ton of value to be gleaned out of those money line prices, both for the game and the series. If you want to look at something like ESPN's BPI, 538's Mello or their ELO, expected value is in line with the implied probabilities for these prices. That is unlike what it was earlier in the series. If you watched our video pre-series, ton of value on the Raptors, who were like 52% chance to win the series, but they were being priced at 32%. That's value. Really nothing to get out of the money line at this point. The bet is exactly what you make. That's the expected probability, and it's a fair bet. This, however, is significant. Only 6 times this season have the Warriors been less than a 5-point favorite at home, including all 3 times in this series. In those 5 games, they are 2-3 against the spread, including, guess what, 0-2 in this series when the number was under 5. This is the lowest it's been, by the way. Game 3 opened at 5.5 for the Warriors, came down to 4.5. Once Klay Thompson was out, that's when it finally dipped to 3. So the number with Klay Thompson was 4.5, and now here we are heading into this game. It's 3. It started at 3.5. It's dipped to 2.5. That is actually a Raptors line by far, so that's a little bit telling. But again, it's kind of hard to bet. I do want to talk about some props, however, and then we'll circle back to what my pick and how I'm going to play this one. More value to be had with props, just a lot more. The books have trouble getting in on that number as good as they can. So let's talk about Kyle Lowry. 15.5 over-under. That is the highest end of the range it's been this series. He's gone everywhere from 13.5 up to 15.5 on the strength of going over last game. I kind of like the under here as much as a Kyle Lowry fan as I am. Models have him projected for about 11 points. He hasn't shot well. He can't feel his left thumb in this series. So smart play here is Kyle Lowry in the under, even though it's very possible he could score 20 points in a game. This one I like a lot. Andre Iguodala under 8.5 points. So check this out. Over the last 8 games, he has gone over 8 points only once. Now keep in mind, Kevin Durant went out in the middle of the series, in the middle of the playoffs. Andre Iguodala's scoring numbers have gone down since then. Now, for some, that might seem counterintuitive, but it all has to do with gravity. Kevin Durant spaces the floor a little bit, takes defenders with him. That leaves Andre Iguodala open. He actually scores 38% more points per minute with Kevin Durant on the floor. 8.5 is a high number for Iguodala. Love the under on Iguodala tonight. Let's talk about some value at William Hill. DeMarcus Cousins, Steph Curry, some William Hill combos here. Points plus rebounds for Cousins, 16.5. That feels low. I know he just came back. Certainly looked like he got his feet under him by the end of last game. Hell, he can get 10 or 11 rebounds and only have to score a couple of buckets and some free throws to hit that number. Love the over on DeMarcus Cousins, over 16.5 points plus rebounds. Meanwhile, Steph Curry, combined total points, assists, rebounds, 42.5. You could do the math. It shakes out however it shakes out, but consider that at DraftKings Sugar House points bet, that number is 44.5. You're getting a lot of value at William Hill, if you like the over at 42.5, I'd play that, but I'd only play that at William Hill. Meanwhile, you got Draymond Green, triple-double, pays out plus 250 at PointsBet. He had one in game 1. He's been right on the cusp 2 other games. 2 assists short 1 game, 1 assist short another game. At plus 250, that's a fun little punt bet. So those are some props to consider. Definite value in here at William Hill. As for the game, They're hard to bet at this point. I'm going to ride with the Raptors. I took them at plus 230 to win the series before the series. I don't like hedging against myself at this point. They've been the better team for like 85% of the series. Two quick Warriors runs at the end of last game and a little bit in game 2 have given them their 2 wins. They're without KD. I think they got their sentimental win last game. Give me the Raptors at plus 3. I'm not effing with the money line tonight. I'm going to take them. I'm going to ride with them. I'm going to cash out my pre-series bet. And I'm going to take the Raptors solely because it's a Raptors line tonight, and I think they're the better team. Go whichever way you want, but definitely check out some of these player props. There's some value. If you like what you see here, give us a like below. Click the link below. Read our full Game 6 betting guide. And this might be the last basketball game till next season. So thanks for watching, and make sure you visit Crossing Broad for all of your betting needs.